Welcome back, folks. Foodie Friday here on A Cup of Joe. This is a good cup of coffee.
Oh, very much so.
This is a good cup of coffee.
I haven't had good coffee like this in a while. Oh. Need one more sip? One more, hold on.
Very good, very good, very good. Let's get this segment started.
Yes.
After coffee. TNT, welcome. This is now time on a Foodie Friday, what we are calling the Regal Touch, because we will have a few wonderful top-rated cake artists dropping by onto the show and sharing some of their secrets with you. This particular lady, I happen to like a lot because she is the cake madame.
That's me.
That's you. Lisa Marie Stewart.
Hello again.
How are you?
I am well today, and how are you?
So, Lisa Marie, as I said, now known as the cake madame out there. Most of you who would follow her on social media know of her fantastic work, and she's here this morning to share a little secret or two that if you're home and feeling a little experimentative,
you can do a nice decoration. You don't have to have all of the tools, but you can still keep it simple and make it look pretty.
Right. So this is like a plain chocolate cake
Yes.
you did this morning.
Simple chocolate cake.
What are you going to do for us?
So we're going to put a ganache on it. We have which is a nice mixture of semi-sweet chocolate and heavy cream. Mix it together to get more or less a smooth texture.
Right. So
to coat the cake with.
Ganache.
Yes, that's a ganache.
Go through what a ganache is again for me.
It's for my own, I use semi-sweet chocolate chips, preferably dark chocolate, and some heavy cream, and I just mix it until I get a nice smooth consistency that's spreadable but not dripping all over.
Right, you don't want it drippy.
Yes,
you don't want it drippy. You know you have your ganache. What are we doing?
All right, it's very simple. So you take the ganache, and just basically dump it on top of the cake.
Of the cake.
Yes. It comes out very easily too. So
it forms like the base of the decoration.
Yes, that's what it does. Yes. You're going to put this across here. All right. Now I always use. You don't necessarily have to have a lazy daisy,
right?
But
it helps.
Use, but it definitely helps.
Yeah, it helps.
So what I'll do, I will show you a few techniques that you can use. And you can still, especially if you want to just rustle up something for home, you have a little house slime or something to go to. You don't just want to dash the frosting on the cake or the ganache on the cake and just go. You still want to have something that's presentable, that's easy on the eye, So, because we eat with our eyes first.
Correct, mostly.
So we just spread it out to the edges.
That looks rich.
It is. It's one of my favorite things. Yes. So you just carry it and smooth it around the edges.
So is there a technique there? Can any Joe do that?
Yeah, any average Jew. any average Jew.
But is there a technique to that? You're doing it so flawlessly.
What I do, I pull it to the edges.
Right.
And then you see, this is why you don't want it runny.
Right.
So I put it to the edges and then I just smooth it around the sides.
Right, yeah. Because if it was runny, then it was getting running around. Right, yeah. It's good handle it there properly.
Yes, because as I said, you want to make sure it's not too thick that that it's giving you some trouble and also pulling off the cake crumbs.
Right.
But you want it smooth enough that, see, we already have it on it already. You can just do this.
Oh, you're smoothing already?
Yes, I'm just smoothing. Because the few techniques I have to show, I prefer just be a little smooth. Doesn't have to be perfectly smooth, but you get the general idea of it.
And I think one of these solely things are important.
Yes, they very, very much help a lot.
The maneuverability of the skill set that's required.
So you can just clean up the edges.
Right.
So one of the first things I do is scrape the excess off into the bowl. You can just take even if you don't have a spatula, you can take a butter knife and you can just pull little curves on it like this.
Oh.
Just curves like that.
And that creates its own design?
Yes, that in itself creates its own design. So I'll stop here. You do it all the way around. So you see what you get. You get a nice uniformed finish. And what you can do on top, you can do the same thing on top. You can start in one corner and you just pull a curve and you pull a curve, you pull another one. And you just get narrower as you get to the top. So it's very it's very versatile, the different things you can do with it.
I mean, this is really cake art. I mean, when I heard the phrase cake artist, I said, you know, I wasn't too sure what a cake artist was. And then I saw you guys at work, and I said, this is art, because you took it from a smooth texture.
And now you have a nice pattern, a nice patterned texture that you can work with, and there you go. Okay, so that's one of them.
Right.
All right, so.
Oh, okay? You're not feeling that today.
Nah, I'm not feeling
You're not feeling that today.
I ain't feeling that one
So
that much.
You can do that, but okay, yes, okay.
All right, there's another one that you can do where you just wobble it back and forth, just like that. So I'm showing you 3 techniques today.
Okay.
All right, so you just wobble it back and forth like this, and you get this nice. You get another texture on the side.
Yes.
Nice. So
you
there
just
you
do the
go.
wobble.
So, and you have this nice, uniformed, but still, you know, not exact, but still something that looks presentable.
Gotcha.
All right, and the top you do the same thing. You just start in the middle, and you just work it like that, and you work it like that.
And Lisa Marie, it doesn't have to be perfect.
It doesn't have, that's the thing. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
And it's very forgiving in terms that you can do it a couple times, even if you. Okay, I don't like how it came out this time. Right. And you can even also do a big one across the entire surface like that. So you see, you get another. So I end up doing 4 basically. Right. So that one. All right. So now the one that I tend to like the most, which is a little more challenging, but not overly challenging. But it's best if you have a top that can, something that can spin. Right.
I think that's key.
Yes. So what I do, I start, let's clean off this. Right, so I start here, and you're just turning. And you're just lifting your hand a little higher with each turn. So you get the swirl, well, the circle, going around to the top of it. All right, doesn't have to be exact. All right, and when you get to the top, you do the same thing. You start at the edge, and you just keep going. And gradually, you just ease your hand
inwards.
Yes. And you just keep going, and going, and going, and you end up with a nice little swirl at the end. And you just neaten the edges like this. And there you go. You just clean up your edges. You just take a napkin and clean it up right now. But I know you're not waiting for anything to clean up because you just want cake to go in your belly.
I mean, I'm appreciating all the different art.
I know, but you just want to get to the eating part as quickly as possible.
Looks like a bit chocolate.
So you can have this.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and you can have this done very, very quickly, very easily. You know, you can run home. Oh my gosh, my guests are coming just now. I have to go out just now. Just get this done, and you could, and it actually it stays outside pretty well because as I said, it's not runny, so it's not even in. I found in heat, you know, not exactly direct sunlight, but if it's out somewhere and it's shaded, it stays well. Or even if you want, you can pop it into the fridge for a bit to stay cool and such.
Nice.
So what I like to do when I do this pattern, when I'm finished. Take a couple of the gold dragées or gold balls as we...
Gold balls.
Gold balls. We'll call them the gold balls.
The gold balls.
Yes. And you just drop them.
Anywhere.
Arbitrarily just drop them anywhere. It really doesn't matter.
Just for that pop of color, I suppose. Yeah.
You have the gold base, you know, so you keep with the theme and you...
Right. It's all about the artistic feel, I suppose.
And like you said, it doesn't have to be uniform. It just needs to look a certain way.
Right.
And you can play with the different sizes of the balls. So you see here I have some very tiny. Yes, they're always different sizes of balls. Every time. So you have some very tiny ones here. If you have tiny balls. Yes.
Go ahead, Lisa.
So you just take it and you just...
And drizzle.
Yeah, you just drizzle it. Someone told me the other day that it almost once looked like a bit of a constellation.
Yes.
Yes.
And sometimes less is more. That looks so simple.
It's very
impactful.
simple.
Yeah.
So, and that's it.
And that's it.
Yeah, there you go.
It. I see you have almonds here as well.
I have some almonds there, so you can actually put the almonds on the side. We can do, instead of putting it on the top, one almond fell. You can just put the almonds along the side. So, you can just put them along the side. What I would normally do if I'm using nuts, I would tend to roast them before using them. A little chocolate here.
Right, you would roast the nuts.
I'd roast the nuts because when you roast it, it makes it a little more crunchy and so brings the oils and the flavor out even better.
Yeah.
So you just roast them until you smell them, but not burning, but just smell that they're ready.
Yes.
And then you put them on the cake or in the cake or whatever you're doing with the cake.
And you could put that Regal Touch to your cake.
Yes, we did add a Regal Touch to it.
You
Literally.
did add that Regal Touch to
Yes.
it. I mean, Lisa, in a few minutes, showed us different ways you could design and do your cake. And using, I think the important thing is the quality of your ganache.
Yes,
Am I right?
yes.
I think so.
Because when you one important thing to do when you are melting your chocolate, you don't want your chocolate to burn, and chocolate burns very, very easily. So what you can do, you can melt it over a double boiler, which is a pot of water. It's very simple to make one. You don't have to go out and purchase one.
Yeah.
You have a pot of water on the stove boiling. You pour some water in it, and you let that boil, and you place a glass bowl over it. But you don't want the water touching the bowl.
Right.
So it's basically the steam which is melting the chocolate.
Yeah.
Or you can do it in a microwave, which it's easier to burn it in a microwave, but you have to be very careful. So what I do, you put your chocolate chips, so your dark chocolate, whichever one you're using, into the bowl. And you put it in the microwave, and you do it about 20 seconds at a time. It may take a little while,
but it's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
Because I said you don't want to burn the chocolate. When it's burnt, it's not able to use.
Yes.
So you put it in, you take it out, you check it if you have to mix it, and once it's melted, you mix it until it's smooth, and then you add in your heavy cream.
The cake madam, Lisa Marie Stewart. Try some of her tricks. That's what they're going to be here for over the next few weeks. Putting that Regal Touch on your desserts, your cakes. Mother's Day is coming up, and you want to surprise mommy.
And this is a great one to do for Mother's Day.
Nice. I think I can try that.
Yes.
And
you're going to have to send me pictures and a slice of cake.
I can try that.
And I want a video of you doing it for proof that you actually did it yourself.
Follow her on social media, the Cake Madam, Lisa Marie Stewart, guys. Thank you very much, my darling, for dropping by.
You're most welcome. It was a pleasure.
Some of your tricks and tips this morning. We take a short break, much more food, friends, and fun to come here on our First Friday. Can I please?
Great, yeah. So. All right, here's your chocolate cake. Right, there you go. I know that's the part of it you were waiting for. And you have your reward.